In a quiet little village embraced by tall mountains, there lived a young man named Andrew, just 24 years old. Though his surroundings were peaceful, his mind was not. His thoughts constantly wandered, sometimes to the past, sometimes to the future, leaving him restless and weary. Memories of yesterday filled him with regret, while worries of tomorrow clouded his peace. His mind had become like a storm, always moving, never still. Nights brought no rest, and even the simple act of smiling felt like something he had forgotten long ago. One day, Andrew heard whispers about a distant village hidden high in the hills. People spoke of a wise old man who lived there, a man who had once been a renowned psychologist in the city. Throughout his life, he had guided many lost souls, helping them discover calm within their own minds. Now, in his later years, he had left behind the noise of the world and chosen a simple life surrounded by nature. Sometimes travelers came seeking his wisdom, and he gently shared his insights with them. When Andrew heard this, a spark of hope lit in his heart. Perhaps this wise man can help me find peace, he thought. And with that thought, his journey began. After many days of walking through forests and hills, Andrew finally reached the quiet village. Nestled among the trees, he found a small house, wrapped in green vines and the gentle sounds of nature. On the porch sat an old man with his eyes closed, his face glowing with calmness and wisdom. Andrew approached him with respect and spoke softly. "Grandfather, my mind is restless. My thoughts never stop. I long for peace within my heart. Will you help me?" The old man slowly opened his eyes, his gaze warm and kind. A peaceful smile crossed his face as he said, "Ah, so you seek peace. Then come with me, my child. I have a small task for you." The old man led Andrew to a small open yard beside his home. There he picked up a glass and filled it with water until it reached the very edge, so full that even a tiny movement could make it spill. Handing the glass to Andrew, he said gently, "Walk to the edge of the village and return, but remember, do not let even a single drop fall." Andrew stared at the glass in surprise, unsure what this task had to do with finding peace. Yet, trusting the old man's wisdom, he nodded and accepted. Holding the glass with both hands, he began his careful walk, every step slow and steady. The road ahead was narrow and alive with activity. Villagers walked past, children laughed and played, shopkeepers called out to customers, and dogs barked in the distance. Yet Andrew kept his eyes fixed only on the glass of water in his hands. Step by step, he moved slowly and carefully, afraid that even a small distraction might make the water spill. People watched him curiously, sensing that this was no ordinary task. When he finally returned, the glass was still full. Andrew smiled and said proudly, "Grandfather, I did it. I didn't spill a single drop." The old man nodded with a peaceful smile. Then he asked softly, "That's good, my child. But tell me, did you see the children playing on the roadside? Did you hear the dogs barking or the people calling out?" Andrew blinked in surprise. "No," he said. "I didn't notice anything. I was only focused on the glass." The old man's smile deepened, his voice calm and full of warmth. "That," he said softly, "is the secret. The peace you seek has always been within you. You just never noticed it. When the mind stays in the present moment, it has no room for fear, no space for confusion, and no burden of unnecessary thoughts. While you carried that glass, your attention was fully in the now. You were not lost in memories of the past, nor were you anxious about the future. In that stillness, your mind became silent and clear. Slowly, Andrew's eyes widened with understanding. This was the peace he had been searching for all along, not something to be found outside, but something that blooms naturally within, when one learns to live in the present moment. With gratitude in his heart, Andrew bowed his head and whispered, "Grandfather, now I understand. To calm my mind, I must live in the present moment, because that is where true peace lives." The old man smiled once more, his eyes filled with gentle wisdom. The evening sun was setting behind the hills, painting the sky in shades of gold. Birds flew homeward, and a soft breeze moved through the trees. Andrew turned to leave, but he was no longer the same restless young man who had arrived days ago. Something within him had changed. His heart was lighter, his mind quieter, and his soul finally at ease. He had found what he was searching for, not in the world, but within himself. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who might need a little peace today. And remember, every moment is a new chance to pause, to breathe, and to simply be here, now.